Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Trumpet's Call. I'm Maria. I pray that you're holding on to faith and holding on to hope during these times. This is a quick video that I'm doing. I just awoke from a dream that the Most High gave me, and I wanted to record this just in case the Most High wants me to share it with you in the future. But this dream, So in the dream, I was spending some time in a camper van of a Gentile friend that I have. I haven't been in contact with her for some time, but this Gentile friend who is I guess, quite well to do. She, has good earnings. Her husband owns his own company. They do quite well for themselves. And she was living in her camper van and didn't have any food. I knew this friend from church when we used to go to church together. I went to a non-denominational church, and she was one of the friends that I had met in church. And in the dream, they didn't have food. They didn't have resources. And they were living in their camper van, or in a camper van of some sort. And so I was apologetic. I was telling her I didn't know. I didn't know that you were in such dire straits. I didn't know. And somehow or another, I ended up leaving her trailer and going back home to where I was. And I was talking to my family in the house about something. And then all of a sudden around me, I started to notice people reacting. And then I noticed that it was getting dark. It was starting to get dark. And you could tell that something was going on. It was in the middle of the daytime. And it started to get dark. And I looked outside. And indeed, it was starting to get dark. So I rushed around and I was telling my family members, close the blinds, close the blinds, close the shutters, close the blinds. You don't want to look at the darkness. Close the blinds, close the shutters. I don't remember if I actually said you don't want to look at the darkness, but that was the understanding, that you didn't want to look at it. So I was telling everybody to close the blinds, close the shutters, close everything up. Don't look outside. Don't look outside. Quickly, quickly, and be quiet. That's another thing I was telling people, to be quiet. Don't speak. Don't look out at the darkness. Close your blinds, close your shutters, and don't speak. You must be silent. So this is what I was saying in the dream. And so my family was quiet, and we were closing the shutters. And there was one window that the curtain or the shutter or whatever it was wasn't closed all the way. It was jammed up. So I went over to the window to close it. And out of the corner of my eye, as the darkness was descending, I saw this figure. It was a figure of a man. And it was descending. It was coming down. And I could not tell from the dream I could not discern whether it was an evil ruach or if it was a peaceful ruach. I couldn't discern. I just saw this being coming down with a look of fierce determination. I just couldn't tell. I didn't sense anything evil, but I couldn't tell. But it was coming down very slowly and very deliberately, coming down from the heavenly realms, from the sky, coming down. And it was getting darker and darker and darker. And after I could not get the window shade to do rightly, and someone in the room said, "Oh, you're just curious. You're looking out the window." And I said, "I'm not." Because at this point, I saw what I saw through my peripheral vision, and then I stopped looking. I was focusing on getting the shades done. And in my mind, I kept thinking in the dream, remember Lot's wife, that there's something that you're not supposed to look at. So I was focusing my attention. I was not looking out the window. I was focusing my attention on getting that shade that was caught up. There was a shade and a curtain, and something was not allowing it to close. Or if you looked out the window, you could still see what was going on out there. So I grabbed the throw pillow and stuffed it into the window and then stood in front of the window so that no one could see out that window. So I just stood there as it got darker and darker and darker. And then the shrieks began. Shrieks. Howling, shrieking, moaning, all manner of horrific noises. It was awful. It was awful. Just all of this noise, and just to think about it is just a bad memory. There were all of these awful noises and booms and shrieking and howling and screeching going on outside. And we didn't know what was going on, but we stayed inside the house, and it was lit inside our house. Even though it was dark outside, it was lit inside the house. And it was lit inside the house. And you could just tell that there was all sorts of horror going on outside the house. You could tell that there was going to be much death and much carnage that was happening outside the house, but we were safe in the house and we were silent. We knew that we needed to be reverential and respectful. Close the windows, close the blinds. Do not look out the windows or blinds. And we knew that we needed to be silent. So I awoke from that dream, just like with the vision I had about the airplane, with a start. I was yanked out of the dream. And I suppose the Most High may have done that so I would remember it. I awoke like something suddenly just yanked out of the dream. It felt more like a vision dream, but I was just yanked out of it. And I awoke, was like a that kind of situation. And immediately I could tell that there was this force or something that was trying to get me to forget the dream. Like I awoke from it, but then immediately I was like, was I dreaming? Did I just... And then the Father, who's so good, started just bringing it back to my memory. And then I got up right away and started writing it down, wrote it down in my journal. And then I'm doing this video. It's midnight right now as I'm recording this. It's midnight. So I fell asleep while editing a video. I fell asleep on my living room floor, editing a video, and then had that dream. And now I'm sharing this with you. Brothers and sisters, for the past several years, I haven't dreamt much. But when I do dream, it's always significant. Or I should say, I have dreamt, I just don't remember them. But whenever I remember them, it's always something significant. And this is certainly significant. This is the second time that I've dreamt of darkness. The second time. Once, the Father told me to warn my people that darkness was coming. And then the Most High gave me a vision dream of darkness. And now I had a dream. Actually, no, I'm wrong. This is the third time. This is the third time. I had forgotten about one episode. This is the third time that I'm dreaming about darkness. Twice in a dream, and once the Father telling me to warn his people that darkness was coming. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. Brothers and sisters, something is happening in the heavenly realms that they don't want us to know about. I don't know if I'm at liberty to share this. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in this video. And if the Most High won't let me share it, I will never even upload it, and you'll never even know it exists. But the Father told me that, he told me this 2 years ago, that the destroyer is near. It's in the heavenly realm, and it's been orbiting our sun. The destroyer. The destroyer is a luminary, a heavenly body that the Most High allows to come cyclically to do his bidding. It's almost as if the destroyer is like a celestial vacuum cleaner that comes to take up the refuse. It cleans up, it comes and it destroys at the Most High's bidding. And it came during the time of the last great Exodus. And the Most High told me that the destroyer is in the heavenly realms now. And what's happening is this destroyer, this huge being that looks like a planet. It's not a planet. It's a heavenly luminary. The luminaries look like stars and they look like planets, but they're heavenly beings. And it's been parked in our skies for a long time now. It's been eclipsing our sun. And they have established and set up in our skies a fake sun. It's been there for at least a decade now. I've been noticing it. There's also a fake moon. And they do that because this heavenly luminary, as it traverses our skies, it sometimes eclipses the sun and blocks out the sun for hours and hours at a time. And with the fake sun up there, people don't know that it's happening. People don't know that soon the whole sun's going to go dark. This heavenly luminary is massive. It's huge. And they've been knowing about this, and they've been knowing that when this heavenly luminary draws near, it causes all manner of cataclysms in the earth. Hail and fire and floods and droughts and cold weather and all manner of maladies and judgments of the Most High. And they can see that this thing is in the heavenly realms. And that's part of the reason why they're allowing the world to implode. They have created for themselves underground bunkers to run to take care of themselves. But they don't care what happens to the public. They don't care. So, with all this said, darkness is coming. I wasn't sure of it before, but after this third time in a vision now, I just feel like the Most High is telling us, prepare yourself, steel yourself. And if this is the case, if it comes, do not look out your windows or your doors. If it comes, remember my voice. Do not look out of your windows or your doors. Don't, and be silent, because something reverential is happening, and we don't need to be carrying on in our houses, looking at TV, and surfing the internet while there's carnage going on outside. We need to be prayerful, and we need to be reverential while this thing is happening. But I'm just about convinced that the Most High is indicating to us that this darkness is coming. Some people say it's 3 days. I don't know. I haven't been told that. But some sort of darkness is coming. I believe that the Most High is giving us warning. He's given multiple people warnings about this darkness that's coming. And I believe the darkness is coming in result to the drawing near of the destroyer, of the luminary, of the heavenly being, the destroyer, coming to bring judgment upon the nations. Well, brothers and sisters, I pray that you will confirm in the comment section if you have any confirmatory evidence, any confirmatory words or prophecy, dreams, visions, anything like that. If you can confirm any of this, I would appreciate it. If you have any further information, I would appreciate it. We depend on one another to share what thus saith the Most High, so that we can be edified, we can learn, we can grow, and we can try to prepare ourselves for the things that are coming down the pike. But darkness is coming, brothers and sisters. Prepare yourself. Have spiritual lamps. Have your spiritual lamps going. Make sure you're spending time in prayer and living a set-apart life, keeping the Most High's commandments. And also, brothers and sisters, make sure you've got candles in your house. Maybe a lantern, a lamp. Make sure you've got something to light those candles with, a match, a lighter. If you have a fireplace, maybe have some firewood on hand. Be thinking about these things. Also, we've already talked about the importance of having food and water. But just be thinking about these things and asking the Most High for revelation and insight regarding how you need to prepare. But you do need to prepare because the hour is late. It is so late. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining me on the channel. May the Most High Baruch bless and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and grant you peace. And peace. And peace. And may our hearts not be afraid. Though an host should encamp around us, though 1,000 shall fall at our side, our right hand, and 10,000 at our side, we shall not fear. It shall not come nigh our dwelling. Those of us who hide, who abide under the shadow of the almighty wing of our Heavenly Father. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom.